So this video was supposed to come out days ago, and I'm a little irritated by it because I recorded an entire video that you just saw there in the beginning, and it was completely destroyed because when I went to go try to start editing, you couldn't hear anything. Not a sound. And it had a bunch of really good points. I remember I felt like I had really made a good video. Like I was really proud of what I did and what I said. Now I have to sit here and try to basically recreate that. If you're a content creator out there, maybe you understand the struggle and the annoyance that I feel right now. So excuse me if my mood is just a little you know. Every time I think about it, I get pissed off all over again. Let's begin.
Gabrielle loves TV. Yes, I made a theme song so that I can talk about all my favorite shows. Oh yeah.
And this is just your disclaimer that this is not me talking about any of the actors themselves, but more so their characters. Please do not attack me in the comments. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, even those who disagree with me. But let's keep it friendly. All right, let's get started with the show. So the episode begins with Bree getting together with Andrew and Rex and Danielle, and they're trying to figure out what exactly they're going to do about Andrew hitting Miss Elise moving forward. So they decide they're going to drop off the car in a bad part of town and hope that somebody steals it so that way the car wasn't in their possession and they can't be held responsible for what happened when the car was stolen.
You jerk! This is a residential neighborhood! Wow, that's quite a pitching arm you've got there.
I was literally thinking that when I first saw this.
Mr. and Mrs. Elise?
Fun.
Is it okay if I first?
And this is one of the points I was making. Why is he there? What are you doing? Like, what are you actually doing? And then Carlos is obviously so blinded by the grief that he doesn't see that this is weird. Why is your gardener showing up to the hospital to see your mother? I would think that was weird. Am I alone? This reminds me of in Gilmore Girls where Gran died and then Richard gave Jason that hug and he was like, it was the hug that would never end.
Is it all right if I come?
Of course.
And Gabrielle's just sweating bullets.
Want those non-fat peach yogurts. They didn't just walk out of that fridge by themselves.
I love Martha.
You're my best friend. Why would I steal from you? I want you out.
You don't mean that.
Oh, yes, I do. I'm leaving tomorrow to...
Why are you looking like that? You told her to leave. So Martha Huber kicks Edie Britt out because she got accused of doing exactly what she was doing, which is taking money out of Edie's purse. Then Edie says, I'm going to go ahead and just leave today.
I'm up all night, dozing off during the day.
Trust me, this'll do the trick.
I've screwed up my entire system by taking my kid's ADD medication.
This'll put you right to sleep.
So Susan finds wads and wads of cash in Mike's cabinet when she was looking for dog treats for the dog's name I can't remember. So while looking for dog treats, Susan finds wads and wads of cash, and so she offers to stay home while someone is supposed to be coming over fixing something at Mike's place so that she can further investigate. Paul decides to go through with his plan to take the hit out on Edie because he still thinks that she's the one that is behind the note. Rex and Bree are sitting there waiting for the car to be stolen because they drove the car to the bad neighborhood.
We could have been better parents. For starters, we need to get across to Andrew the enormity of what he's done. All right, well, what's the appropriate punishment for a child who drives over a woman? You know, no matter how the kids turn out, I still love them. But I'll never forgive them for growing up so quickly.
Hey, look.
That's why you're freaking out? A few stacks of cash? If you really think that, why are you going on a trip with him?
I never get out of the house.
Mom, if you really... No man has seen you naked in years, except your doctor.
He retired. I try not to take that personally.
You look old in that.
And see, that's the thing. I feel like, you be having those moments of like knowing that something is wrong. Like your intuition just tells you that something is just off and you just keep downplaying it because you're just like, you know what? No. It's almost like it's an ego thing. I think I read a quote the other day. Oh my gosh. Actually, I read a quote. Can I talk? It says, ego will have you crying over a closed door that had nothing behind it. And I think that's like a part of it, of why often we get into relationships as people and, we obviously see all the red flags and just kind of ignore them because it's almost like, how could I Me. How could I pick someone who isn't a good person? Like, I'm supposed to have good judgment. What happened? Why am I picking the wrong people? I think that's a great discussion to have. If you guys have thoughts on that in the comments, please say something below. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
That's Dad. I gotta go.
So have the police come up with any leads?
Really?
Between him and John, I'm like about to lose it.
Having kids.
Yeah, they're a blessing.
AKA mine are ruining my life.
Children make everything worthwhile.
Thanks.
Gabrielle and I are about to start a family.
Does Gabrielle know?
I mean, can our lives have any meaning if all we ever do is buy stuff?
That depends on what we buy.
It depends on what we buy. I just want to know, what did he think was going to come from that? He thought he could just put her on the spot and she was going to be like, okay. I'm really trying to understand like the thought process behind that. I would love to know, because it's almost like annoying, like the arrogance of that, to just think that you can just throw that on someone who clearly has shown no interest whatsoever and has made clear, as she said, she made it very clear she did not want any kids. Why do you think that you can just throw that on her in front of company and she's just gonna conform?
That was weird.
Yeah, it was.
I'm off the hook.
Bree, I hate to break it to you, but you're raising a monster. Bree's like, I did not save your butt because I thought what you did was okay. I saved you because you're my son and I care about you.
Go to hell. Go to hell, go to hell, go to hell, go to hell, go to hell.
Mommy.
I'm tired just looking at all of them.
Mommy, that just...
How they made it not and she didn't? I'm sure her system is just so messed up right now. Like, I'm sure it's just like, she's up, then she down, then she's up, then, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to figure out, like, where was this going? You're going to sit there, put all the money on the table, count it all up to figure out exactly how much it is, and then what? Like if you had found $50, you were going to be like, or if you had found, like, what, 500 or, well, it's literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds sitting there. But I'm saying, like, what was the plan? Child, I thought that was Mike. Again, what is the plan? What is the plan? Why not just put it back in the cabinet? I can't even be mad.
Here, I'm trapped in the floor.
If you came in here to judge me, you can just leave.
Grab the towel. Get the other end. What are you doing? Look over here. Don't do that.
From now on, I'm sticking with Danielle.
Now on, I'm sticking with Danielle. What is Danielle gonna do for you?
For what we did.
Not saying I'm an advocate. Let's go back, because that was a little. Okay, I'm not an advocate for their little whatever they have going on. I'm just saying that if you're gonna pick anybody, can it be anybody else? Because where's Danielle gonna take you?
Some of Father Crowley thinks.
What?
I went to confession.
Oh, I think I'm just gonna get some sleep. But honestly, like I could spend energy being like irritated by the fact that he's being so dumb, or I could focus the energy more towards the fact that Gabrielle was dumb enough to mess with him in the first place. This is why you don't mess with minors. Like, not the only reason, but this is like one of the reasons, because look at how stupid he is.
Have you lost your mind?
Yeah, and you've lost yours, but I'll help you find it. Just give me a second.
Lassie would have had a fire truck here by now.
That's what I was thinking when I first saw this. I'm like, does she think that he's Lassie? He's not a border collie.
Stupid dog.
I'm being funny. Well,
Think I'm crazy?
it's so funny because this, well, not really funny, but it reminds me of when I first had my first therapy session when I was like 8 years old, and I remember breaking down, crying in tears, I think after I left or in the session one, and I was just like, I don't want people to think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. I was like losing my mind because I was like convinced that everybody who goes to therapy is super, super crazy. And like, the thing is, that's not true. That's a huge misconception. But even if that was true, girl, get help, okay? I'm just saying this for anybody. I feel like people should be in therapy from the time they're practically from the time you can talk and formulate thoughts to the end. We go through so many transitions over the course of our lives, and having someone on the outside who's like unbiased, who can kind of help you, I'm telling you, like, it'll change your life. Like, I feel like I would not be as far as I am, which I don't think I'm perfect, but I would not even be this far if it wasn't for therapy.
I'm cool. Really.
Maybe you shouldn't be so comfortable. That's a This Is 40 reference, in case you guys didn't know.
Okay? She's lived her life.
She's lived her life. Oh, Andrew, seek help. Immediately. Hurry up, okay? The clock is ticking. Do you know you have 30 minutes?
What I'm worried about, Andrew, is that you don't seem to have a soul.
Give me one good reason why I shouldn't call the police.
That would make you the monster.
Oh, Susan. This isn't gonna go well. She's sitting there smiling like that money not sitting in the sink. I would be freaking out.
Through my cabinets.
Oh, I can explain that.
Get out.
See, I didn't think he was gonna say get out necessarily, but yeah, I didn't think he was gonna be happy about it. And I don't know why she was so like, oh, I can explain that. No, you can't. Do you know you have 30 minutes? Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, well, isn't this just...
Oh my God, Edie. You're just gonna keep showing up, looking all nice. I mean, even the outfit she had on earlier when she was talking to Miss Huber, like...
So this paper is hers?
Oh, God, yes.
Saved by the Bell. Saved by the Bell. She don't even know how close she was to the barrel of a gun. Whoo! Dang it, poor Martha. I remember when this happened and I was thinking like, dang, how am I supposed to watch the rest of this show without her? I can't. It's just too soon. I feel bad for Lynette. I really do. I know I've said this before, but it's just because I don't feel bad for her because she's a mother. I feel bad for her because this was not the path that she wanted to go down. I talked about this when I recorded this originally. I feel like, and I'm going to try not to get emotional because that's what I did in the last video. Maybe that's why it got deleted, because I got really emotional and I literally started crying. So I'm going to try not to do this time. I just think about how much I love my daughter and I love being a mom, and like when I'm having a really bad day and I like have zero energy to really just go on and I just have to push through it, the love that I have for her is what allows me to push through. And I'm sure that Lynette loves her kids. I really think she loves her kids, but I just don't. I think that like sometimes they can be a constant reminder that this was not the path she wanted to go down. When you don't have that extreme love in that way of like, this is really what I wanted, it just makes it even harder. And I just can only imagine how hard it is for her to keep going when she just needs help. She just needs a break and she doesn't really have as strong of a support system as she needs. Like that's a lot of kids, and then they have behavioral issues. Like I said, I just think that it's very, very difficult. The other reason that I got emotional is because I started to think about how we're in this state in the world where, you know, we have these anti-abortion laws. I just started to think about that and the people that truly, truly know in their bones, like they're not meant to be a parent, and it's such a huge sacrifice. And like, how are they getting through the day? How are they not thinking about the fact that this was absolutely something that wasn't meant for them? And how do they push on? So again, I just have so much, like, I don't care how many times Lynette complains. It never bothers me how many times she complains about her life, because it was truly not what she wanted. And I take it two ways. I feel like Susan needs to run for the hills. And then the other part feels like, I feel like Mike is pushing her away on purpose because he knows that she got really close to figuring out what it is that he's doing in town. And so he feels like, let's just go ahead and end this before you end up like really leaving me.
You gotta take my kids for a while. I'm sorry, but I can't do this. It's too much.
Lynette!
This whole scene, like, I was... Again, maybe it's for the best that that whole video got deleted, because I was breaking down in tears because this scene just really got to me. Like, I already kind of explained most of my reasons why, but I love that they were able to come together and try to support her the best way they could. Lynette ends up leaving her kids with Susan, and then Susan leaves the kids with Danielle, Bree's daughter, you know, so that they can both go check on her. I love this like little sisterhood type bubble that's kind of happening right now. Like, it really really just meant a lot to me. So the priest comes to the hospital. He kind of hints to Gabrielle that he does know about the affair because John told him, obviously. He tells her that she needs to repent for her sins, you know, sooner than later. I just think it's an important thing to kind of address here that I didn't mention this in that last episode, but I definitely should have. When Juanita catches them and she takes that photo, Gabrielle starts to disassociate. I think that's exactly what's happening and why she doesn't have some major reaction. I would love to know your thoughts on that as well, like what you guys think about Gabrielle doing that. But I think she starts to disassociate because it's almost like, well, like she doesn't even have the fight in her to fight for her marriage or to do anything differently about it. And I feel like that is a testament to how lonely she feels. I feel like that's where it's coming from. And I think that's what she does after she talks to the priest. She's not going to be like the type of person to have this big moment of like, oh my gosh, like I just made such a terrible mistake and da-da-da-da. Like that's not where she's at this point mentally. I think she just kind of chooses to disassociate and handle her emotions in a different way. But it also says to me, because she even asked about repenting in the first place, or she wants to know more, it does say that I think she does feel guilty about what she's done. So the hitman goes back to Paul and tells him, hey man, we almost made a huge mistake. Okay, like we almost oopsie. Anyway, so he tells him that, and he's like, yeah, I don't do refunds, but if you want me to transfer this to Martha Huber instead, you know, I'm more than willing. And Paul is like, nah, I need answers. Paul goes over to Martha Huber's to, you know, get said answers. Susan, you're doing it again. You're doing it again.
Read the Bible, Paul. Suicide's a big no-no.
Don't you feel any remorse?
So he's at Martha Huber's house, and Martha Huber's like, listen, I don't feel any type of remorse about what I did because that lady had did something way worse than what I did. All I did was leave a little note. So, I mean, tough cookie. So Paul ends up shaking her like a salt shaker, and basically, I hate to say it, but Martha Huber is not with us any longer. I'm gonna miss her cunty lines. Oh my God, I'm dramatic. Okay, anyway, so she's out of here, and Mike and Susan officially do the do. Susan doesn't get to any answers about what the money was about and the gun. And that wraps up this episode. I hate that this video feels like it still wasn't as in-depth as that other video. It is a crime that I can never retrieve that. But, you know, this is the life of being a content creator. Just sometimes this kind of stuff just happens. I am literally recording so many videos right now. Like, when you guys finally see these videos, you're going to be like, oh, she was wearing that shirt in that video, in that other video. Yeah, because I'm recording so much right now. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.